So we made a few changes on the Lake Malawi 150-gallon tank. We added a few fish. It was about a week ago. We added the yellow blaze, the venustus. Doesn't seem to be doing great this morning after the lights came on, but he's been great up until today. We added the star sapphire and also an eye biter. But problem was, so many fish, so much food that goes in here, and there's a ton that gets left in the bottom, which isn't a big deal, you just have to clean it up. But the problem that I had was with these lids that I have made, I had the baskets in there for the plants to sit in, and they collected so much debris from the plants, the leaves, the food that got stuck in there, that anytime I adjusted a lid, tons of debris would fall down and the tank would be a mess. So on Amazon, I ordered a hydroponic system. So now we're doing aquaponics. I also put it onto the Tanganyika tank. I can show you that in a few, but it makes it much easier. Now I have these little holes cut and I can get into everywhere in the tank that I need to do some vacuuming, to scrub the glass and keep things clean. So as of right now, so far, all the plants are still doing well. I believe we've had all the fish tanks upstairs now for about 6 weeks, and everything seems to be going good. Haven't done any water changes since we've been upstairs, and prior to the move we didn't do any either. And the nitrates stayed right around 10 to 20 parts per million, which to me is great. And we added a ton of plants since then, so they should be even lower or the same. But the plants definitely help. Prior to putting these plants on the top of this tank, or any of my tanks for that matter, I was having to do water changes at least once a week, and maybe every other week. But when we were downstairs, I didn't do any water changes for almost 6 months, and things worked great. So it's been a little while since we've done a water test on here. We're gonna do one today for ammonia and nitrate using the API freshwater test kit and see where we stand. It's good to do it every now and again. It's been a while since I've done it, but anytime I notice something going on with the fish, I want to know where the water levels are. We'll also test for the pH. I don't use the API test kit for that, only because I have a HANA electronic tester, which I'll show you. So let's get started with doing the API test. I can't find the pipette, so we have a little syringe here to fill up the water with in the test vials. But yeah, anytime something's going on with a fish, I like to check it and see what's going on. We may end up setting up a hospital tank, possibly in this video, for the venustus, or maybe I'll make another video of that in general. But yeah, let's see where we stand with the water. So first we're gonna test for ammonia, which is a 2-part test. Part 1, 0.2. 8 drops for each one, bottle 1, bottle 2. First we gotta get the water into the test vials, which is a lot easier with the pipette, but we don't have. I'm sure I do somewhere, but very unorganized here. So you fill the vial right up to the line. I don't think it really matters what bottle you start with, whether it's bottle 1, bottle 2, as long as you get both parts in there. Do it the right way, I guess, according to the bottles, and we'll start with bottle 1. There's 8. Bottle 2, also 8. Put the cap on, flip it around, and let it sit. And we're going to do the same thing for nitrates. It's also 2 bottles. Bottle 1, bottle 2, 2-part test. Here's bottle 1. This bottle says add 10 drops. Next bottle. Put all the caps back on and let them sit for a bit. We'll see what the verdict is here in a second. All right, so I waited about, I don't know, 2-3 minutes here, and the ammonia tests came back a little higher than usual, but I would say we're right around 0.5 and 1. But I also just did a feeding when the lights came on, and we also had moved a lot of stuff around for the plants, and there's been a huge change in the water here. So I think that plays a part. It's not terrible, but we'll check it again in a couple of days and see if this hydroponic system is going to help the way that the baskets with just the plants in it were helping. But as far as the nitrates, I would say those are good. Those are looking to be right around 10, I would say. It's hard to get the lighting right on these things. But so those are good, but there's definitely an ammonia spike, and I'm going to keep an eye on that. And I'm guessing that's probably what's going on with the venustus, but I'm surprised that other fish aren't doing the same as him if that's the issue. So I'm not highly concerned with either the ammonia or the nitrates, or nitrates I should say, sorry. But there is definitely something going on with the venustus, and I'm gonna have to set up a hospital tank for him. So I did just start up the Rody water system, so that way I can get him some water. I have a spare 10-gallon tank I can throw him in and get him some medication. He's definitely one fish that I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose any fish, but he is one of my favorites. But this is the Hana tester that I use. It's an electronic one. I bought this more for the salt water, but I use it for all of them. I have all the Hana testers for the salt, but I think the API test kits do just as well. It's just a little bit easier with the electronic ones. They're more expensive to buy, and so are all the stuff you have to buy for them to continue using them. So anyway, let's see what the pH is in here. Put that on. Stick that in. But yeah, I think the hydroponics is going to work the same. I'm hoping anyway, just because it keeps things cleaner. And as far as the ammonia that is in the tank, I did kick up a ton of debris when I took all of those baskets out. I think I had 9 baskets total with 3 plants in each one, which was a total of 27 plants. So now we did downsize. There's only 18 plants up here now. I can add more to the hydroponic system, but I don't know. I want some room to be able to get into the tank so I can maintenance and do my cleanings much better than I have in the past. But So the pH is low. pH is at 7.6, which I'm not sure how that dropped, but we can get some Malawi buffer in there and get the pH to rise back up and get this tank back on track. So the pH said 7.6. You want to be around 8.2. That's where I like to keep it. I can't believe it's dropped that much, to be honest with you. It just shows that I should be checking my levels much more often. But this is the Malawi, or Lake Malawi, Lake Victoria buffer from Seachem that I'm going to use to adjust the pH. And I like to put this in while doing water changes, whether I add it to the roadie water system before I put it in and mix it. But in this case, I feel like the pH is a lot lower than what I want it to be. So I am going to add it directly to the tank, not all at once. I'm going to add a teaspoon or two here for you guys now, and then over the next 24 hours or so, I'm slowly going to creep it up, and while continuing to test it with the Hannah tester. But I've done this a few times this way, and I have a huge wave maker over here in the corner, and I'm slowly going to just put that in front of the wave maker so that way it gets through the tank and mixes in. I think I'm just going to put 2 in for now, which really isn't going to do much, but again, any adjustments that you do to your water, you want to make slow adjustments, nothing fast, nothing drastic, or else you end up with something like this, a fish that's not doing very well. But I'm going to keep an eye on him over the next couple hours while the roadie water is being filtered, and if he's not better, we're going to get him into a hospital tank and start monitoring what's going on with him. Everybody else seems to be doing good. There is some chasing going on in there today, but yeah, he's the only one. He might just be getting beat up and bullied, and I can put him into the hospital tank and he can do fine and bounce right back. So let's see what happens here. So another thing that I do is when I notice something's going on in the tank and levels might be a little bit off, is I'll add in, usually there's an air stone on a bubbler, but I add a little bit more oxygen through just a regular pump, regular tube. And again, I usually have an air stone on there, but the last time I did this, I ended up breaking the air stone. So what this will do is, if there is any sort of issues going on in there at the gas exchange with the oxygen, will help. So I'll leave this in here for a few hours, see if there's any changes. And again, I'm already making a roadie water just in case I do have to set up a hospital tank, which I think I am going to have to do. But for the time being, while I'm waiting, I'm going to do everything I can for inside of this tank. And I've seen this help 100 times. So it's just another little hint of something that has worked for me. So anyway, we'll see what's going to happen with the Venustus, and hopefully we can save him and make him feel a little bit better. So after about 3 hours or so, the Venustus was back to himself, swimming around the tank. He was even eating. I dropped some pellets in there for him, and he immediately went to the food. So I think I did have a little bit of an ammonia spike due to switching around the baskets to the hydroponic system. The baskets were loaded with debris. A lot of stuff did get into the tank. I did vacuum a lot of it out. I added some prime instability tonight, and also some stress guard, all products of Seachem, and everybody's back to themselves. So I think that was the issue, and I think it's going to work itself out, and I'll keep an eye on it till then. And again, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Maybe hit the thumbs up button.